Good Thursday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Colder weather coming into town today. Gusty winds from the northwest, clouds and showers. Temperatures will be falling into the low 40s by this evening. Partial clearing overnight, upper 20s and low 30s, a north wind 10 to 20. Friday, partly to mostly sunny in the low 40s at best, northeast wind at 10. Partly to mostly sunny, cool over the weekend, highs in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The ICC sentenced Congolese war criminal Bosco Ntaganda to 30 years in prison. 3 British political parties, the Lib Dems, Plaid Cymru and the Green Party, have formed an electoral pact agreeing not to stand against each other in dozens of seats. 2 North Korean fishermen who fled to the south after allegedly killing 16 fellow crew have been handed back to Pyongyang, and the Supreme Court of India is criticising both central and state governments for failing to limit pollution as smog continues.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Red Thursday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are from the I'm trying to say this without stumbling. Craighead County Cooperative Extension Services. All right, so from the EFNEP program, EFNEP, EFNEP, we have Ms. Kim Huffman. Thank you so much, very much for joining us.
Good morning.
And we have from the 4-H Club, Miss Malia Cook. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
All right, so make sure everybody's mics are just right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our conversation. It's been a while since you all been here. So, Ms. Kim, if you could please give us an introduction of yourself and tell us what you do and how you serve our community.
Hey, good morning. So my name is Kim Huffman, and I am one of 2 program assistants that teach nutrition education here in Craighead County.
Okay.
Okay, and so what I do is work with our families that have children birth to 19 who may be pregnant, and then also I work with our children 3rd grade through 12th grade in the public schools.
Awesome. And so do you feel that the kids, who you feel are more engaged, the kids or the adults?
Oh man, that's pretty close together. The kids enjoy it just as much as the adults. The learning, the hands-on aspect of it is fun.
Do you find that they are really surprised when you introduce new recipes and food ideas to them that they maybe once turned their nose up at?
Yes. I just finished a program at one of our local junior high schools where I was working with the FACS teacher, and they got to cook and experience and try foods that initially they were just kind of turning their nose up at, or I don't eat that, and then after getting to prepare it themselves and try it, they were like, hey, this is pretty good. And so ways to introduce nutritious, healthy ingredients into recipes.
All right, and so you are constantly hosting some type of classes or something, and so you have some things that are coming up, and so there's a flyer, and I'll get a picture of this and post on our social media. It says, in each class you will prepare and taste nutritious foods, learn fun physical activity, learn about nutrition, receive kitchen tools, learn how to get more for your money on groceries, and receive recipes. So tell us a little more about this cooking and nutrition class, when, where, how people can get involved, and some more details about the things I just listed.
Yes, ma'am. So we're starting, the first class will be this Friday. It will be hosted at our Craighead County office, so It's 611 East Washington, Suite A, and we will be doing some hands-on cooking classes. I think we're actually going to be making fried rice with vegetables in this class, and participants will receive gifts for participating, and they can also receive a certificate if they complete all 3 classes that we'll be having over the course of November and December.
And who doesn't like free gifts?
Yes, free gifts are the draw, yes.
Tis the season.
Kitchen gifts, so they can use these items, they can take them home, a cutting mat, measuring tools, just different things that they can use in their kitchen. So.
And then having the right tools on hand, sometimes I feel can get you a little more excited about cooking.
Yes.
I know there are times when I want to cook something, and if I don't have the right pot or stirring utensil or something, like, forget it, never mind.
Yes, and we talk about, using the right knife for the right thing that you're going to be cooking, or chopping or dicing. So we have a knife safety lesson that we'll be incorporating into Friday's class. And so come see us. It'll start at 6 o'clock. You can come a little early and join us.
All right, so those dates are November 8 and 22. So this week, which will be tomorrow.
First one's tomorrow.
Okay, so November 8, 22, and December 20. So right in time for Thanksgiving and right in time for Christmas, get to learn some healthy alternatives for your favorite dishes, possibly, and some other new recipes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so do you already have the recipes planned for what you're going to do for those?
I don't yet.
Okay.
I just know that tomorrow we're going to be making fried rice.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So this class, again, is going to be held at your office at 611 East Washington. I want to say good morning to a few people checking in, Mr. Andre Watson and Mr. Buddy Red. Thank you for checking in. If you want to learn how to get your cooking skills elevated, and learn some new recipes, come on out to this class and bring the whole family. Well, I say bring. So
there's no child care provided, but you could bring, your spouse, your older children even. They can come and participate. Just call, and pre-registration is required.
Okay. All right, and so you can email Ms. Kim at KHUFFMAN@uaex.edu. And so please reach out to her, register for the class. This is pre-registration is required. So as of now, do you know how many people you already have registered?
I do have 21 currently registered, and I can take about 25 to 30, so yes.
Oh, wow. And so how will you manage all those people?
Well, I have some great volunteers, so if you ever need a volunteer hours, myself and Ms. Malia love our great community volunteers. So
Ms. Malia, you're going to get in there and do some cooking too?
That's a negative. No. I like to let Kim and Carolina cook and then eat what they make. Domestic is not my forte. Actually, I love to cook, but they definitely are the better cooks in the office. So, I just don't feel like I should mess that up.
Okay. Yes. Let the greats keep doing what they
That's
do.
right. Nobody tries to tell Michael Jordan how to shoot a shot back in the day. Okay. So.
All right. So aside from these classes that you have coming up, what are some other events you may have? I know you sometimes go into churches and people set up the group, or you go to schools, and you recently went to a school.
I recently went to the school, so I'll be working in a couple of our schools here, but I'm also always available to set up a booth at any event that you might have to promote the EFNEP program. And so if you've got an event coming up that you need somebody to set up at, I would love to come and promote our program.
Right, and then this would be it'd be great for like people in office, maybe 5 to 10 people. And instead of going out for lunch, I invite you into.
Yes, I do lunch and learns, and so I can use your 30-minute to 1 hour lunch to do a program. I've had success in that, and so if you would like for me to come and cook for you, provide a recipe and some nutrition information, or maybe just some ways to get up and move. And we do physical activity in our lessons as well. So with our youth, we do Kids in the Kitchen with our yoga programs. We do yoga with kids.
Oh, wow.
Kids love it, and so same with our adults. We can do some physical activity just to show you some healthy, safe ways to get up and get moving.
That's awesome. All right, so give us some more details about while you're here, for those that just are a little more curious, like myself. Let's talk about some of the knife. I'm still thinking about the knife thing. I remember growing up, we had one big butcher type, I don't know, all-purpose.
Yeah, chef's knife, but most likely big chef's knife.
And so we had the little small, little paring knives, or
Yes.
And they were literally multi-purpose, but they probably weren't used for the right purpose.
Yes, and so we have a lesson in our first lesson, which will be starting tomorrow. We'll be talking about the proper way to hold the knife, the proper way to use it to when you're holding it to chop, maybe the proper way to carry it in the kitchen or to even pass it to someone else. And so just knife safety, and then we talk about the different types of knives as well, or even how to travel, because I travel with my things, and so I want to make sure that I'm not reaching into my bag and grabbing the wrong end. So we talk about how to safely transport those if you're going to a cookout or potluck or something like that where you may need a knife. And so it's very hands-on.
That's awesome. And if there's time allotted, and people may have this question, like I won't always have random questions, the different, I guess, materials, the knife. At one point, ceramic knives were a big thing, and then so do you talk about stainless steel versus this versus?
So I don't. We use both in our program, and we do talk about how, like I said, how to properly transport those. How a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife, and what that means, because you can injure yourself very easily using a dull knife. So we talk about that. And
then also other utensils, the pots and pans used to cook certain things.
Yes, we talk about different sizes, the quarts, different pots or pans or skillet that you might need for the different recipes, and how if you don't have a certain one, as you were saying earlier, that you can use different ones for different things. Yes.
Well, if you want to learn this and more, come on out to the class. The cooking and nutrition classes that will be held at the UAM, at the Cooperative Extension Office on 611 East Washington, Suite A. So if you know where the health department is, it's the first office before that.
Yes.
And it starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow, but you must pre-register. But the classes are free, so who doesn't like free?
Yes. Tomorrow's free gifts are a free reusable shopping bag and a cutting mat for your kitchen, a cutting board.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And in this day and age, when we need to be more green conscious, more conscious about our environment, those reusable shopping bags will come in very handy.
Yes.
We see so many stories about plastic in the ocean, and I know that's another story for it, but still, those shopping bags come in very handy.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you also have cookbooks.
So one of the free gifts that you will receive in our classes, the last class, when you finish the paperwork and we're finished with that lesson, you receive free cookbooks, and that is one of the 2 cookbooks that you will receive for participating in our program.
And they have really wonderful and simple recipes, and you'll be surprised at how tasty.
Yes, how easy it is to incorporate nutrition and fruits and vegetables into these recipes, or whole grains.
The fish tacos on the front of that, we've made those several times at the office, and it comes with a mango salsa that you can make with it, and you can make that or not make it, but the fish tacos are amazing. Yes. They're really, they're restaurant worthy. Yes. They're really good.
Yeah, and
I'm a critic.
Yeah.
They're good.
The coleslaw with that recipe, just alone.
Yes, the coleslaw, that was so good.
Really
it's like
good.
a spicy coleslaw.
Yes.
So good.
And with this being Diabetes Awareness Month, it's a great opportunity to start learning some new recipes and alternatives to eating to increase the quality of your health overall, and not just for now, but forevermore, and to incorporate your children.
Yes, getting the children involved in the kitchen is more important now than ever. And so you'll hear parents say, my children are so picky. But if we bring them into the kitchen and get them involved and let them help, or maybe even take them to the grocery store. I know that's a big... but if you
not get crazy.
No, not crazy. Every once in a while, incorporate them, take them, or let them even help you make the grocery list. We'll be giving you a free grocery pad as one of your gifts in the classes. And so letting the children get involved and help makes a big difference in getting them to eat better as well.
That's awesome. I think the more kids know about the ingredients, they'll just make more conscious decisions.
Yes.
It will help them in the long run as they get older. Also, I had some individuals from St. Bernard's, from the LEAP organization. Well, I keep calling it, it's an affinity group. They do health awareness and other topics, but this month they're doing a diabetes event. Yes. And so they were talking about the numbers, the statistics of children who are diagnosed with diabetes. And some of it is not just juvenile that they're born with it. It's not the type 1, it's type 2. And that's the type that you get when your body's not, basically your insulin can't process what you're taking in. And so we need to get our children back on a great track and set them on the right path so they can be healthy later in life as well. So,
and I don't work specifically with like diabetes awareness. However, my supervisor, Katrina Causey, she is our Family and Consumer Sciences agent there at Craighead County, and she does have recipes and information specific to that awareness. And so you can contact her at our office, 870-933-4565.
All right, so there's a wealth of information available at the extension office, and so please go and see them. Please sign up for this class. Please get anyone you know involved. The class is free, so for this class on November 8th, you have about 4 more slots left.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so look, go get those slots and take advantage of this class. Again, you will prepare and taste nutritious foods, learn simple, fun physical activity. We didn't talk about that. We want to get into that. Learn about nutrition, receive kitchen tools, learn how to get more for your money on groceries. That's a big thing. Receive recipes. All right, going back to learn simple, fun physical activity.
Yes.
So what's the point of eating well if you don't move your body? Like, they kind of correlate.
Yes, they are absolutely go hand in hand, and so we talk about that. Each lesson will incorporate about 10 to 15 minutes of physical activity, so we're going to be learning how to get up and move our bodies. These are things that you can do right in your office. You can, go for a walk in your parking lot, in your neighborhood, a quick, walk, just getting up, getting your heart rate moving and getting it, helping burn some of those calories that we are taking in. And so with our adults, we do like a 10 or 15 minute workout. You also will receive a workout DVD, and it's Leslie Sansone's Walk Indoors. And so it's something that you could pop into your computer or your CD player, DVD player at home, and it's a lot of fun. And she has about 10 or 15, and it starts very basic, just walking in place, up to some really rigorous physical activity.
All right, so for those of you who have the watches, the Fitbits, and whatever else, just
getting your steps in.
Pop on your device and pop in the DVD. I mean, especially with the weather getting colder, some people are kind of like, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to go outside.
Yes.
So look, you have no excuse.
No excuses. I have a DVD that I will give to you that will help you out. We also have a free app that goes along with our program that will help count your steps. It will show you our healthy recipes. Maybe you don't have the cookbook or can't make it to our class this time. And it's called Eating Smart, Being Active.
Okay.
And it'll have a red apple. It's a free app. You download it, create an account with your email, and it will, when you log into it, it will count your steps. It will show you a physical activity of the day, a recipe of the day. It will also do if you're shopping in the grocery store, you can pull the recipes up and see what you need right in the grocery store. We always have our phones with us, so no excuses there either. Take advantage of that free app that we have with our program.
And I think the resources like that help you stay accountable. Help you be accountable, and then if you let someone else know what you're doing, you have a partner, an accountability partner. They can say, okay, did you log your steps? Did you do this? Did you do that? And it's not that they're trying to be mean or boss you. They're just trying to help you reach the goals you set for yourself.
Yes, yeah. So grab a friend, come sign up for the class. We'd love to have you. We're going to start tomorrow, 6 o'clock sharp. We'll be there for about an hour and a half or so. Okay. So we won't keep you too late. Get you home in plenty of time to get some good sleep. So.
All right. Now, I know in the past, and I'm sorry, I haven't been to a class or a discussion lately, but I know with the EFNEP program, you all also have talked about how to read labels, read prices, look at the price per unit.
Yes.
Okay. And so would this be something you cover in this particular class as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
We're going to talk about how to stretch your food dollars. Maybe you're on a very strict budget, and so we're going to look at ways to price match, or price compare in the grocery store, looking at those unit prices. Maybe a generic is a better choice than a name brand, and so we'll talk about those things as well, and how to read those food labels. What do those numbers on the side of that package mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I'm looking and trying to be more aware of is looking at the ingredients list and looking at the top 4 to 5 ingredients. And
Yes.
And then also learning how to read. Just because something says sugar, it may be a natural, but at the same time, you need to still you need to learn all those numbers and learn what they mean and how to really read and decipher.
Yes.
It can be a lot and overwhelming, but once you get it down,
it's important, yes, if you're trying to make sure that you're getting all of the 5 food groups, because our program is based on My Plate, so that is the 5 food groups.
Okay.
And so if you ask your children, they're probably seeing these logos and pictures in their school cafeteria or in their hallway. It's just a round image, and we've gotten away from the My Pyramid or the food pyramid from back when. Now we do the My Plate, and so it's the 5 food groups: vegetables, fruits, grains, dairy, and protein. So we'll base our lessons on making sure we're getting the right amounts of those each day into our diet.
Okay, awesome. So again, this class is the cooking and nutrition class, or classes rather, starting tomorrow, November 8th, and also November 22nd and December 20th at 6 p.m., 611 East Washington, Suite A. The phone number, 870-933-4565, or you can email Ms. Huffman at khuffman@uaex.edu. So please grab a friend, grab a spouse, go out to these classes, and I'm sure it's going to be lots of fun. And then you get to meet people that live right here in your community.
Yes.
So who doesn't want to go out and fellowship and network and have fun learning some recipes and some some new things, and just getting out of the house on a Friday night.
Yes, ma'am. You need a mom's night out, just to get away and come do something fun. We're going to provide that program free of charge.
That's awesome. All right, so as we get ready to go to break, any other final thoughts or things you want to wrap up about this discussion?
Just would love to have you pre-register, call me, email me. I will be back in my office very shortly. I'll be there for the day.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, just feel free to contact me.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to get ready for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring Ms. Aaliyah into the conversation to talk all things 4-H and whatever else is going on in Craighead County. Look, if you ever follow Aaliyah on Facebook, Instagram, you will see her. She's always with an animal, of course. So we'll be right back.
So actually, I'm not being rude. I'm literally texting a 4-H parent right now about something, and it's like it's got to be done right now. So
we'll be right back, and we'll get into more discussion about 4-H. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these minutes.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you and your spouse have what it takes to survive the hurricanes of life? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. When married couples are exposed to the heavy, pounding winds of life, sickness, losing a job, affairs, addictions, weaknesses in their relationship are exposed. But struggles don't always have to rip a marriage apart. Here are 7 steps to survive a marriage crisis. First, take turns being strong. In the midst of a crisis, emotions are sure to run high. Finding a way to tag team allows one of you to be weak while the other is strong. Second, give as much grace as you want to receive. Avoid playing the blame game and simply support your spouse through this difficult season of life. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a non-profit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Hey America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country. We've got so much food that we can't eat it all. So how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community, or visit us at 1411 Franklin Street. KLEK 102.5 Jonesboro, educating, entertaining, and empowering the community.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests today are Ms. Kim Huffman and Ms. Malia Cook, both from the Craighead County Extension Office right here, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 611 East Washington. Ms. Kim is with the EFNEP, which stands for, let's switch the camera. All right, Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. And Miss Malia is with 4-H. So everyone and their mama and daddy have heard of 4-H Club.
I hope so. That's the plan.
And so Miss Malia is going to jump right into some things that have been going on. I first want to backtrack and say I had a chance to go to the county, well, not the county, district fair, and it was such a wonderful experience to be around the kids. And they were I was where the dairy goats were. Oh my goodness, it was a wonderful experience.
Did you ever think there was that many different types of dairy goats? Like, did you even know there were that many types of goats? That's just the dairy goats. That's not even like the meat goats. That's a whole other world.
I was just in awe, and the announcer, the judge that was there, she was so knowledgeable, and so it was an absolutely amazing experience. Yes. So, and I got to hold one of the baby goats.
Well, you had a lot of good compliments. And I had one lady, she actually came up, she's like, her voice is so beautiful. And I was like, what are you saying? Are you saying that my loud, obnoxious, overly coarse voice is not a delight to hear at 8 a.m. in the morning? I don't understand what you're saying. She's like, I'm just saying her voice is really soothing. Let's get to her job. So, I'm just kidding. So you got lots, I'm teasing you. You got lots of great compliments. So we're hoping that you'll be back next year.
Next year is on. So, okay. And then, Malia, you work, I mean, what do you not do? Like, you have so many different programs, and I know I dropped the ball in the sewing club, but we're gonna get that.
No, we're gonna roll with that. We'll get that back and rolling. And shout out while I have opportunity to Joann's, because they donate so much, and they just donated a huge amount of trim that can be used in our sewing club. So if you guys are needing, am I allowed to do that actually? Okay.
Well, if they want to go ahead and be a sponsor, they can,
Okay, yeah, if you want to go ahead and throw that out there. But yeah, sorry. So that one place that shall remain nameless, down at the other end of town that you get crafting supplies from. They are fantastic. But we do a little bit of everything. And our latest club that we have up and going is our STEM club, Craighead County STEM Club. And it was out of commission this past year, but it's really back up and rolling strong again. And we're getting our robots ready to compete in an underwater robotics competition called Sea Perch. So that our leader for that is Sean Carmack. And if you've never been, it's really awesome. And we took a team 3 years ago and did really well. And I like it because at heart, I'm a scientist, and it's truly a scientifically based competition. So yes, the robots are underwater. There's actually a whole underwater course, and the kids have to build that too in order to practice. So there's an underwater course, and you control it with a remote control. and you have a spotter that's in the pool that's wearing waders because this is pretty cool and pretty cool time of the year. So they have waders on, so you have a spotter in the pool. Then you have the control person, which is standing on the ledge of the pool. And then you have another person in the water in case your robot gets in trouble, like if you have to reflip it or something. Of course, you lose points for that. But you can look up the Sea Perch Challenge on YouTube, and you can see what this year's challenge is. It's really neat. And the national competition for that's in Louisiana. But when we went 3 years ago, we won the poster portion. You had to have an actual poster that detailed your entire planning and then the final route that you took. And then we won the notebook. So you have to turn in your scientific notebook, and there's a lot of things people, if you're not in a science-based area or a job or degree, you may not realize that a science notebook is a legal document. And so when you change anything in that science notebook, there's a very specific way that you have to change and notate. Like you can't just white it out or scribble through it. Like it has to be done a certain way, initial, dated. And so for the kids to be learning that at age 9. So this is a legal document. You have to note and do things a certain way in it. It's been really cool, and so we're excited about that program that's coming up.
It's amazing. And, people hear, some people hear 4-H, they think of farming.
Sure.
4-H has expanded, and even when it began, it was still more than just farming.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I tell people. 4-H of today is not the 4-H of your grandparents, or for these kids, your great-grandparents, and not that there was anything wrong with that, but 4-H was originally started because you had these young kids out there that were farmers' children, that were homemakers' children, and the university had really started putting out research-based science and information for these farmers. But the old phrase, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that really came into play in the early 1900s. So the students were coming out to these farms and they had this great research-based information, but the older farmers and the homemakers, they were not going to hear it because this is how they've always done it and it worked and this is how it was going to be. And they didn't want some newfangled 20-year-old coming in and telling them how to raise their corn. So what they did is they started corn clubs and tomato clubs with the youth. So the youth actually started implementing the research. And so what happened a few years into it, we had some of the youth test plots in the 20s and 30s that started making more money than the entire crops of some of the farmers.
Oh my goodness.
And so they looked at that and went, maybe there's something here. And so that was kind of the birth of 4-H. So it was farm-based and it was animal-based, but then it has expanded over time. Kim runs one of our biggest clubs, actually. She runs our Cooking and Visual Arts Club. And these kids are amazing. We do a Winter Blast Bake-Off every year, about January or February. And last year, the winning cupcake was a campfire that looked like a legitimate campfire.
What?
They burned the icing like with this little thing so that it looked like it was an actual fire. It had she made out of fondant, she made flames, she made s'mores, she made the sticks with marshmallows, and then the runner up to that, which was hilarious. I know that we don't have a lot of time for this story, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The runner-up, and one of my little girls, Haley, she did a unicorn.
Yes.
So I come over, and she's like spray painting. I mean, it was edible spray paint. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I cannot, this fondant is not wanting to work with me today. And I was like, what 10-year-old says my fondant is not wanting to work with me today? So we're not talking about we slapped some generic icing from Walmart, which is how we started 5 years ago, by the way. I'm not even going to lie. We're talking about, like, these kids are for real. Like, they're legit. They're, like, making their own buttercream frosting for the bakers, for the decorators to throw down. It's crazy.
Wow.
So we do a little bit of everything in 4-H.
So these kids are really just diving right into all of these different activities, and they're learning new skills. And these skills, and we talked about this before, Malia, the skills they're learning are going to propel them in every area of their life. They're going to have skills they can take no matter what job they choose. They're learning stuff now that's going to help them in the long run. Then they can pass that information on to future generations and keep the cycle going.
Well, as I tell people, I'm 4-H alumni, and the things that I learned as a 4-H, young 4-H'er, a few of the things I can think of off the top of my head, a young 4-H'er, has actually played a role, major roles later in life for me, because I gave my first speech at something that we have every year called ORAMA. You have county, then district, and then state ORAMA. And back in the day, you actually had national level competitions associated with almost everything. But I gave my first organized and memorized illustrated talk. I was 6. And so today, that's probably one of the things that I feel like I've taken from 4-H was my ability to speak in front of people and not be horrified.
That's absolutely amazing. And I know we've talked a lot about some of the other clubs. And then there are students that work with the livestock, which I love seeing their pictures and videos. They raise baby like chickens and other things.
They do. And you know, one of the things I tell people, because that is still one of our biggest programs, is that it is a great program. I think that the Livestock Project, and because livestock was one of my major projects in 4-H too, so it's very near and dear to my heart. But I tell people it's not all warm and fuzzy. So when you take on, and Kim's kids do this is some of their projects too. When you take this project on, these kids are learning real life lessons, because I'm going to tell you, that animal still has to eat whether it's sleeting outside.
Yeah.
That goat, she is not going to kid when it is 75 degrees on a full moon and beautiful weather. She is going to kid when there is snow on the ground. She did not put herself in the barn, and you have to go search for all 3 of the triplets that have been born, put them under a heat lamp, and warm them back up. Yeah. So, you know, it just teaches a lot of life skills. You know, they see the whole gambit. My market kids that do market animals, which is, when I say market, we're talking like Kroger meat department market.
Wow.
Okay? So they may raise it, feed it, love it, pet it, and then they have to watch it get on a market truck. And I say have to. They know that's part of the deal, because they know that's where good, healthy food comes from. So they see it from the beginning and to the end. And I've had people actually say to me, I had a person say through social media, she's like, well, this does not seem like a good plan. You're teaching them to send their best friend to a meat truck. And I said, no, you don't understand. 1, this is where your food that you eat comes from, and you need to hope that it comes from a situation like this. And 2, that animal had one bad day because it was taken care of, loved, fed, petted, and one day out of its entire life. If all of our animals should be so lucky. So.
That's amazing and I'm sure the children have a deeper appreciation.
They do. They raised it. Yes. Absolutely.
And it just kind of all ties back into the cooking classes. If you know where your food comes from, you till the soil that you grow the vegetables in, you work with your hands, and you nurture the animal, you know that everything is kosher.
That's correct. Yes. And you have a deeper, I think these kids they actually develop a deeper appreciation for life. And I feel like they develop a deeper compassion because they understand the full circle, the full cycle,
wow.
You know, so.
That's absolutely amazing. And so, are there any competition? I know the year is about, coming to a wrap up. Are there any competition and things that we can look out for?
And as far as competitions, we've kind of wound down for the year. This is kind of like our easier, fun time. So we have things like our... we do PJs with Santa, and we do a movie, and my older kids provide cookies and punch, and we drop down the big screen and we'll show Rudolph or Frosty or something like that. And Santa Claus, Brandon's easy. So my boss, Santa Claus shows up, and my eldest child figured it out last year. She's like, that's Brandon. I was like, if you tell a single kid in here who that is, you're grounded for life. And she's just, laughing. But we have that coming up. But right around the corner, we have a huge fundraiser, and it is so much fun every year. It is at the ASU Show Barn, which is, if you know where the Bill and Alice Nick's Petting Zoo is, right across from Farmers Market there. You just follow that road up. We'll be doing pork steaks, dirty rice, baked beans. Yeah, I have a flyer. I'll send you one. Pork steaks, baked beans, dirty rice, Texas toast, and banana pudding. Sweet 10 lemonade. You can't beat that. $10. And the pork steaks will literally be cooked on our rotisserie grill, and they're actually it's Boston butts that we have sliced into pork steaks. So, I mean, the meat, it just falls off the bone. So we'll have that, but then we have a live auction and a silent auction, and it's always a good time. I mean, the auction's not complete till at least one animal has escaped.
Oh, no.
So I believe it was 4 years ago, our feeder pig got loose, and all the kids took out after it, and that was an event. We'll just leave it at that. And then we had a rooster get loose. We won't talk about what happened there, but it was
auctioned off.
It was auctioned after we had to remove it from someone's hair. In the audience. So it's always a good time. It's always our slogan. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? This is very serious. So our slogan is from pies to pigs, because we may be auctioning off lemon bars at 1 minute and then turn around and have a feeder pig at the next. But we have live music this year, and Mayor Dan Shaw and Bono, his bluegrass group's going to be playing for us during the dinner. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll be serving. Dinner runs until 6:45, 7 o'clock. And then we start the live auction. The silent auction goes on during dinner, and it finishes when dinner finishes at 7. And so if you want to go ahead and head out, you can pay out. Then if you want to stay for the live auction, of course, you're welcome to. And we have a weekend trip in Kansas at a guided turkey hunt.
Ooh.
Will be up for auction. We have some handmade duck calls. A dear friend of mine, Heather Eads, graduate from SCAD, Savannah College of Arts and Design. She has donated a commission painting, and if you've ever, I'm going to post some of her stuff. If you're into your animals, dogs, horses, they're so real it looks like they could walk off the canvas, and it's very hard to paint a horse and it look real. So we just have some absolutely amazing, we have a guided catfish trip, all sorts of things going on.
Absolutely amazing. So we need people to come on out. What's the attire for this event?
Absolutely. Just warm, comfy boots and blue jeans. You're inside a barn.
Okay.
Now, granted, the show barn is kind of like the upper echelon of barns. We use the term barn loosely. It does have a dirt floor. It also has amazing fans and heat.
Oh, wow.
And some concrete and bleachers. And so, of course, we'll have our tables and stuff down on the ground floor. But just dress comfy. I mean, it's one of those things that's not a fancy get up. If you want to get fancy, get fancy. But
it's in a barn.
But it's in a barn.
So I'm thinking rhinestone cowgirl.
Girl, you knock it out. I want to see rhinestone cowgirl full effect. Yes. So the next day, we have a huge weekend. That's Friday the 15th. Then the 16th and 17th, Saturday and Sunday, open to the public. It is free for youth to attend. I just need you to pre-register with me so I know who's going to be there. It is a polo clinic. And when I say polo, I'm
on the horse.
Like on a horse with the mallet. And I've just recently got involved with a fairly local team, the Little Egypt Polo Club, and they are coming together with Craighead County 4-H to offer a polo clinic at the ASU Equine Center.
I didn't even know there was polo playing in Arkansas.
It's so strange because it's all around and you don't even know. It's like it's an underground sport, but it's not really underground. It's very strange. I just stumbled upon it, and I have a fabulous veterinarian out of his clinic's in Gosnell now, and he plays polo, and so that's how he came out one day and he said, "Looks like you have a string of polo ponies," and I laughed and I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to play, but I don't know anybody," and he's like, "Well, really?" Well, next thing I knew, I was knocking myself in the head with a wooden mallet trying to learn how to play polo.
So on TV, the real players, they make it look so easy.
It is absolutely the most infuriating. It's the most infuriating, hardest thing I have ever done on horseback. But it is also the most fun. And I'm an eventer, so I do cross country, show jumping, dressage, a little bit of everything.
Wow.
I've done hunters. I coached hunters for years on the East Coast. But it is absolutely the hardest thing because I saw Sylvester Stallone plays, and he had a quote out, and he said, "Trying to play polo is like," what did he say? It's like trying to play golf in an earthquake or something like that. So there's a lot to that because you're going and you're
you're on the house galloping.
Okay, the other people are galloping. I'm on the horse walking. Okay. I've got to the point now where I can canter to the ball and I may or may not hit it. But the people I play with are really good, and God bless them, they're so patient. But they're good, the field is 300 yards. And I play with several players, and in 3 hits, the ball's down the field and through a goal at a dead run. It's crazy.
Wow.
I'm not that good.
Absolutely amazing.
Kim rides too, and I tell her about it. She's like, no, I don't think that's for me. I'm like, no, come on, you'll be fine. She's like, no. So
you ride horses as well, Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm sure y'all hang out with Mr. Michael Jackson at
Yes.
Diego.
Yes, Michael actually is a good friend of ours. I suckered him into helping me do some stuff last night, actually, for one of our community projects. And they have a big soiree I'm going to that night after the polo clinic on the 16th. The polo team, we're going to his Dollars for Diego that night at Gamble's Home Furnishing, and it's going to be, they have Corey Jackson come into play, and it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, we can definitely plug him because that's a nonprofit organization.
Yes, I knew that you guys did that. Yeah.
And he'll be back. He'll be here with us. We're doing on Giving Tuesday. I'm going to put this out there. We have a few slots open. Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, for nonprofit organizations to come in. Put a plug in for your organization.
Put me down.
All right, so
seriously, put me down.
Be here. If you are interested in see what time slots we have available, contact us here at KLEK, and we'll be happy to look at our schedule. But yes,
put me down with Jackson. We make a hilarious team. He may not come if you tell him that he's doing it with me.
You only get 20 minutes, so y'all gotta keep the
we'll live it. We'll rock paper scissors for who gets the most, or who gets the most time.
So, do your 4-H kids get to ever go to his facility and interact with his horses and donkeys?
Yes, actually, and we just did. 4-H does a program which is called a SPIN program, which is a special interest program. So it's not what we call a community group. Like Kim's is a community or project group, and they meet year round. So special interest, you typically do about 6 meetings.
Okay, I'm sorry. What do you want to know? We're having such a great conversation. We're going to finish this story when we come back from our break. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5, and we'll be right back, I promise, after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Desperate to get out of debt? Debt settlement might seem like an easy way out, but there are many risks involved. If you're considering hiring a debt settlement company, here are some key questions you need to ask. Can you stop my creditors from calling me? It is not possible to stop all creditor calls. Will you be making monthly payments to my creditors? Legitimate settlement companies do not make monthly payments to your creditors. Can I get sued? Yes, there is a possibility that you could get sued by your creditors. Don't believe it if the settlement company acts like it can't happen to you or if they guarantee that they can prevent it. I'm out of time, but check for Money Matters tomorrow for more questions you should ask before hiring a debt settlement company. For more information or for past shows, go to AURN.com. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
House of Details, located at 3915 East Highland in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, waxing, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more, with the motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month. Shout out to Letitia Fox Rochelle and Foxy's Fabulous Accessories, an independent paparazzi jewelry consultant. FoxySCanBe.com, Foxy's Fabulous Accessories on Facebook, or 870-761-4323.
What if I could tell you when a wildfire was going to happen? Of course, I can't. But shouldn't you be ready anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. As you can see, it's just Malia and I left. Miss Kim had to step out. All right, so we're going to continue our conversation. Malia was telling us a story about a horse or something. I'm sorry.
I don't remember now. That's been at least 5 minutes ago.
We were talking about so much stuff. But I always enjoy you coming here. I love hearing about the animals. I love hearing about the kids in the 4-H program and the different clubs. And for those that maybe want to start a specialized club, or, tell people how to get involved with 4-H.
So awesome. So if you have a skill or an interest, for instance, you're an amazing seamstress, so Miss Q is helping us with our sewing club. So if you have an interest, or even if you just want to volunteer, just contact me at the extension office, 870-933-4565. I'm sure we can get that number up at some point. Or you can find us, Craighead County 4-H, on Facebook and request to join that group. And just get with me and we'll figure out where a good fit would be for you, or if you have a skill and maybe you would like to have a club in that area, we can definitely get that rolling, because I'm sure if you have a skill or a trade that you're interested in teaching and getting these kids involved in, I have kids that probably have that same interest. So,
and I would love to see all of our kids, in our community involved in something.
Yes.
Everyone is not into sports.
That's right.
So 4-H offers something different, an alternative.
It does.
And for those kids that are into science and math, there's a STEAM program.
Yes.
A STEAM club.
That's absolutely correct.
That's a great alternative. And so there are those that love the outside, so maybe something in agriculture or dealing with the livestock might be something for them.
It might be. And we have a lot of kids that are into outside, but they live in town, or they're not necessarily into ag. So we have Wild Side, and that is what I call a project club. So we do about 4 activities a year. You're like, well, that doesn't sound very many, but what we do is typically pretty big with that club. So like those 4 projects, and I would love for that to be a monthly meeting. It's just, I need leaders. Yes. I need people who are willing to volunteer to lead the clubs. So with Wild Side, we typically meet and go hiking somewhere. Oh, wow. We've learned how to geocache. We've learned how to snorkel. We've learned how to kayak and canoe. So so really cool stuff. So it doesn't matter, what the child's interest is. We have a fit somewhere in 4-H for that.
All right. So again, reach out to Miss Malia, and she'll be happy to sit down with you and give you more details and get you on your way. We want to see, my passion is to see all children be instilled with leadership skills, and leadership as in how to make a mark or be an advocate in their own right, in their own way, in their own community.
That's right.
But it takes us, the adults, the elders of the community, to, and I say elders not in age, but the elders of the community, to reach out and give back to those children.
Yes, it does. Well, I think a lot of it boils down to kids really do mimic what they see. And if they see volunteers who are willing to give to them, if they see people who are willing to take their time to help them achieve a goal, that child will in turn become an adult who is willing to do that. So it's funny, my daughter, I got home late last night and she said, "Where were you?" And I said, "Well, we were doing something for a lady in the community, for this particular lady, and helping with a handicap ramp." Okay. And she said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, and she wasn't being ugly. She just didn't she just didn't understand. She's like, "Oh, like, is this part of work, or is this something you're doing on your own?" And I said, "Well, Jessie, I just thought it would be a good community project for our 4-H program to do." And I said, she just really needed that help. And so Jessie's like, "Oh, okay." That made total sense to her. But those are values that I have personally that I learned through 4-H, because when I was little and in 4-H, these are things that we did. Of course we did the stereotypical, and this is great, so I don't mean this derogatory, but we did the stereotypical visits to the nursing homes, and we did all of that. But then we did some really out of the box projects for the community. So that's the type of people that I need my young 4-Hers to see, so that they become people who will at 7 o'clock in the rain go and help put out a handicap ramp in front of someone's home.
And there are a lot of people that still live at home, elderly or disabled or whatever the case, that would love someone to come just put up some blinds, paint a door.
Yes.
Like, just simple, what seems like simple to us, but it's not so simple.
That's correct. Yes, exactly.
And so hopefully all the children that are involved in the programs, the different clubs, they are really taking everything and absorbing everything that they're learning and saying, "Okay, I want to be like my leader when I get older, and what can I do now?"
That's correct. And that's what I tell people. My 2 biggest goals for my 4-H members that come through my program, it's not to win a bunch of ribbons or a bunch of trophies or to win record books, and those things are all great, and I think those help shape you as a person too, for sure. Competition is a good thing, but the 2 biggest things that I tell people: one, I want them to know how to public speak. You may not like speaking, it may still scare you, but you will have at least developed the skills so that you can cope with it and do it, and then also to give back to your community.
Yes, ma'am. Because at some point in life, just with public speaking, I know we're getting ready to wrap up, you're going to have to speak in public somewhere at some point.
Or even an interview.
A job interview.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So
yes,
you better learn those skills now while you can. All right, so in our last few minutes, I want to remind everyone the cooking and nutrition classes starts tomorrow, November 8th, and also November 22nd, December 20th, 6 p.m., 611 East Washington. Go see Ms. Kim and her team and get in on these great activities. You must register. So pre-register by today or tomorrow before 6 p.m. There are 4 spots available for tomorrow, and I'm sure some more for the other classes. All right, fundraiser.
Fundraiser is it is November, next Friday, the 15th at the Show Barn, 6 o'clock, $10 a plate, music and an auction. And then feel free to come out and watch or participate. You don't have to have a horse. You just need to have a pair of boots and a helmet if you're 19 or under. And if you're an adult, it's a $50 donation. Okay. But all youth members are free. ASU Equine Center Polo Clinic the 16th and 17th of this month.
So for those of you who are interested in or just seeing what's going on, go out and support.
Yeah, just come out, bring your chairs, bring a blanket, wrap up, and just watch. I promise you, it will be hilarious if nothing else.
So you can get to see Malia on a horse.
It is not pretty. No, not with the polo mallet.
Trying to hit a ball.
We have University of Arkansas, their polo team. If y'all didn't know, they have a polo team. They're coming down to participate in it, yeah. So there will be some more advanced people than me there.
All right, so anyone with a camera, video, please take the pictures of
it will be YouTube worthy, I can assure you.
Well, I thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Malia, today.
Thank you.
And hopefully tomorrow we'll be back at 9 a.m. And hopefully today the rain will hold. Like, just go away, rain, please. It always bring in some.
I think I've developed a trauma response from all the rain we had last year. So I see it rain now and I start getting shaky. I'm like, oh no, this is it. This is the 6 months of mud.
Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, well, we thank you everyone out there for listening, supporting KLK. We are your community radio station. We love what we do. We love support. We love catering to you. Thank you and have a great and blessed day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people